The shit only got put out because Iman leaked the divorce documents from Jump Street. Our divorce was private. Our proceedings was private. Everything was private for a whole year. Y'all didn't even know. I'm gonna give you one even better. The same time that I filed for divorce, I still had Iman opening up for me on tour. Iman was still with me on tour. Let's talk about it. Iman was with me on tour.
No one expected Aaron Pierre to say anything. For months, he had stayed silent while fans speculated, while rumors circled, while his name got dragged through comment sections and headlines. He was always the quiet one, the calm one, the mystery man standing in the background of Teyana Taylor's wild, unpredictable world. But that changed with one carefully written statement posted late at night. No drama. No yelling. Just honesty. I was placed in a story that didn't reflect who I am or what I stand for. I wish healing for everyone, but I'm stepping away from what never felt real. That was it. And the internet went into complete meltdown. People immediately connected the dots. It had to be about Teyana. Who else had built a whirlwind romance with him right after her high-profile breakup? Who else had paraded him through parties, premieres, and red carpets like he was the next big thing in her life? And who else had controlled the narrative so tightly that Aaron's voice had practically disappeared during their entire relationship? That short post, those carefully chosen words, it was the confirmation everyone had been waiting for. Aaron felt used. Within hours, Twitter was flooded with opinions. Teyana used him for clout, started trending. People began pulling receipts, screenshots, interview clips. Fans noticed how she was the only one ever speaking about them. She'd post them holding hands. She'd tease their connection in interviews. She hinted at babies, at commitment, even forever. Meanwhile, Aaron remained distant, quiet, absent. And now people were realizing that maybe that wasn't just his personality. Maybe he was uncomfortable the whole time. One comment went viral. She was writing a love story alone and casting him as the lead. That hit hard. Because now that the fog was lifting, everything looked different. People started replaying clips from events, how Aaron rarely smiled when cameras were on. How he'd stand slightly behind her, never fully engaged. One supercut titled, "When Aaron Looked Trapped," got over 4 million views in 2 days. Suddenly, fans weren't laughing. They were concerned. Was he okay? Was this man emotionally manipulated for public image? Digging deeper, people remembered how fast things moved. Teyana had just ended things with Aman Twist. The internet was still trying to process that breakup when boom, Aaron Pierre was on her arm. They looked beautiful together. That much was true. But the timing? Now it felt suspicious. Convenient. Like he had been dropped into the picture right when her public sympathy was starting to fade. And let's be real, after years of being part of one of the most admired black love stories, Teyana needed something to hold her public image. Something, or someone. Fans started saying what they hadn't before. Aaron's rise in attention wasn't subtle. He was a respected actor already, but once he started dating Teyana, his exposure skyrocketed. Blogs that never mentioned his name were suddenly writing about his every move. Photos of him doubled in circulation. He was at events he never attended before. And people whispered, did he know he was being used? Or did he think it was love? Until it wasn't, then came the interviews. Or more accurately, the lack of them. Teyana talked a lot about healing, about rebuilding, about new love. She never said Aaron's name directly, but the implications were clear. She'd say things like, some men show up when you least expect them, or, you can't let one heartbreak stop you from letting someone else in. But Aaron never said a word. Fans assumed he was just private. But now they wondered if he was biting his tongue. The silence ended with that post. And the reaction? It was instant. Support poured in for Aaron. People called him brave. They said, it takes strength to walk away from a situation where you're being molded instead of embraced. And the idea that he was placed into a narrative hit deep. Because it was the word everyone else had been dancing around. Narrative. Not relationship. Not romance. A role. A script. A carefully managed storyline for public consumption, and right on cue, the next twist dropped. A TikTok creator who claimed to be close to someone on Teyana's team posted a now-deleted video. In it, she alleged that Aaron was brought into Teyana's orbit intentionally. Not by fate, not by accident, but as part of an image rehab strategy. She needed a new chapter, and he was perfect for the role, handsome, talented, quiet. Easy to control the narrative. The video got pulled, but not before it was reposted thousands of times. Then a stylist anonymously messaged a gossip blog, claiming that the relationship started as something sweet and sincere, but turned cold fast. That Aaron felt like he was being dressed up for photo shoots more than dates. That he'd confided in someone, saying, "I don't even recognize myself anymore." If true, that line cut deep. Because it painted a picture of a man losing himself in someone else's spotlight. Of someone becoming a supporting character in a story that was never his. While fans were analyzing all of this, Teyana seemed to fire back in her own way. She started posting moody photos, cryptic captions like, "People love to rewrite the truth when the lights are off," and "Be careful who you let tell your story." Her tone shifted from soft and sad to defensive. And fans noticed. She was spiraling, but not because of heartbreak. Because her grip on the narrative was slipping. In one particularly emotional post, she wrote, "The people you give the most to will swear you used them when you stop feeding their ego." It read like a shot. Fans debated whether it was about Aaron. But others said it sounded like projection. Because throughout the entire relationship, Aaron had never asked for attention. Never posted about it. Never seemed to want the spotlight. If anything, he looked like he wanted to escape it. Then came the Aman twist. Out of nowhere, Teyana posted a photo, her, Aman, and their daughter at what looked like a family event. No caption. Just the image. Fans went wild. Was this a reunion? Had Aaron been just a stand-in while she worked things out with her ex? The speculation exploded. Some felt vindicated. Others felt betrayed. Aaron, meanwhile, remained silent. And that silence only made people more sure he had been a pawn in a very public game. As the days passed, public opinion shifted harder in Aaron's favor. He posted a few peaceful photos, nature, books, morning coffee. And one story stood out, a simple black screen with the words, "Healing isn't loud." That was all. No shade. No names. But it said everything. People reposted it with captions like, "This man was dragged into someone else's storm, and let him heal in peace." Fan pages started posting compilations of his old interviews before Teyana. Back when he smiled more, laughed freely, looked relaxed. The contrast was stark. Side-by-side videos of him pre- and post-relationship showed just how much he had dimmed. People said they hadn't noticed it until now. But it was clear. Something had shifted in him during that time. And now, away from it, he was slowly returning. To himself, meanwhile, Teyana's comments section turned chaotic. Supporters begged her to clear the air. Others accused her of manipulation. A few even demanded an apology to Aaron. But she didn't respond. Instead, she began posting more about her music, her daughter, and eventually, nothing at all. Then, she went dark, no new posts, no stories. Just silence, asterisk that silence only added to the mystery. Was she retreating because she was hurt? Embarrassed? Or just regrouping? One theory floated around that she was preparing a tell-all interview, a chance to reclaim the narrative. But others hoped she'd just let it go. That maybe, this time, there was no story to fix. Just lessons to sit with. The story didn't vanish overnight. In fact, it grew. Think pieces started popping up across major culture blogs and niche media outlets, dissecting every angle. Headlines like, "The Danger of PR Relationships," and "When Image Becomes a Prison, Celebrity Love-In." The spotlight dominated timelines. Some labeled it a cautionary tale about the cost of fame, about what happens when real emotions get tangled in curated narratives. Others were more forgiving, shifting the blame from Teyana to the industry itself. They argued she was just another woman caught in a system that expects perfection but punishes vulnerability. But through it all, one line echoed louder than the rest: Aaron was never loud. But now, finally, he was heard. And that's what made this entire situation so layered and so emotional. It wasn't just about betrayal or speculation. It wasn't about juicy headlines or trending drama. It was about a man who spent months being edited, packaged, and misunderstood. Who chose silence over spectacle. Who walked away not with rage, but with quiet resolve. He didn't expose her. Didn't jump on a podcast. Didn't retaliate with receipts. He just let his absence speak, his truth sit in stillness, and the world fill in the blanks. And somehow, that quiet honesty hit harder than any public takedown ever could. Because in a world obsessed with noise, Aaron's silence became his loudest statement. And people finally listened. As of now, Aaron hasn't spoken publicly again. No statements. No interviews. Just quiet living. In a world obsessed with noise, drama, and instant reactions, maybe that silence is the most powerful thing he could have done. Sometimes, the loudest message isn't shouted from the rooftops, it's the calm dignity of stepping back and simply existing on your own terms. His silence speaks volumes. It tells a story of someone who chose peace over chaos, self-respect over public spectacle. Teyana, meanwhile, stands at a crossroads. She can defend herself fiercely, deflect questions, or take a long, hard look inside and reflect. Maybe she never meant to use Aaron. Maybe she was lost, hurting, and clung to love too quickly, maybe even believing in the illusion she created. Or maybe, just maybe, she was playing a complicated game all along. The truth might never fully come out. And that's okay. Some stories don't have neat endings, but what's undeniable is this: Aaron Pierre deserved better than to be reduced to a plot twist in someone else's story. He deserved genuine love, respect, and connection, not a headline, not a scandal. Despite being caught in the whirlwind, he managed to walk away with his core intact. That takes true strength. That takes grace. And in the end, that's what defines him far more than any public drama ever could. So, for everyone watching this story unfold, whether you're Team Teyana, Team Aaron, or somewhere in between, just remember this: behind every rumor is a real person. Behind every viral post is a heart trying to beat through the noise. And sometimes, the quietest people are the ones who carry the heaviest truth. And Aaron Pierre? He carried it with class.